Sorry. Okay. What was I gonna say? Okay. Maybe I scanned this something. I don't know. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, in the last episode I said for my science fantasy setting I wanted to talk about the industrial things. I want to play around with the idea that technology got wiped out by the evil empire. Or like the knowledge got wiped out by, like, there was a campaign potentially just to not destroy any planets, but literally just to have a blitz and just target all data centers and just erase the knowledge, and it didn't really work. But it kind of set back technology, but not like to the point where people aren't spacefaring, just to the point where, like, you know, like it's, well, I don't know. I guess I just don't like the I don't like the idea that like, do I make a thing where all technology is stagnant and it's like everything's plateaued and nothing can get better, and then, like, how do you do better gear at that point? There's a few, I think, interesting ways to do it. I don't know how much I would want to do it in a tabletop RPG, but, like, having durability, like, well, you know, like, this is good gear because it's durable and it's, you know, going to last you forever. Whereas, like, yeah, no, I mean, you could pick this, like, this rifle up, but it's designed to last you 5 years of hard use. Not because a corporation, not necessarily because a corporation wants to sell you a gun every 5 years, but because, like, that's just kind of the reality of what people are looking for. You know, or something like that. Which I think is an interesting take and not a horrible one. Interesting. But, I don't know, it's just one that, well, we'll see. Also, for the most part, like, as far as it goes in the free systems, because, like, the evil empire works a little bit differently, right? But for a company working in the free systems, like, patents, I mean, I think patents, maybe they exist, but, like, all of the technology that exists, like, you know, it's really more of, like, what you see with, like, AR-15s, where you have an AR-15, but you have AR-15s, but they're made by, like, 50 billion different companies. They are all AR-15s, and even some Wildcat things that are, like, kind of out there, that, like, change, like, the SCR lower, or the Fight Light, or Ares lower, which is, like, a different stock configuration. Yeah, that's a, like, that, you can slap that on any AR-15, even though it's, like, drastically different, because it was made to work as a modular component of, you know, a modular part of the AR-15 thing. And that's more of an extreme example. Like, you would have a company in my setting that would be like, you know, like, assault rifle or like pistol A, you know, is a thing. And this company is building that thing, but, you know, the grip looks different, like maybe it has, you know, a slightly different shape to it, but it is recognizably the same platform, right? It uses the same magazines, it takes Glock mags. You could take the slide off of it and you could put it on the frame of another one. That kind of a thing. But then there's, like, for ships, I mentioned before, but, like, you know, there would be, like, space frame A. So, like, imagine, if you will, if you took an X-Wing and stripped off all the body panels. Now imagine if you wanted to swap out the left wings for a single wing. Like, you could just do that. That's, like, there's a company that makes X-Wings, and there's a company that makes single wings, or dual wings, single wings, you know what I mean. And then there's a company that makes, like, a straight wing, a company that makes a gull wing, a company that does some weird biplane thing, companies that make, you know, square engines, round engines, but all based off of the same frame, that all connect to the same thing. And, you know, potentially, like, depending on how modular of a system it is, I'm thinking of it in a video game sense. You imagine kind of Starfield. But, like, you know, potentially you could just have a frame and then a wing or a strut that connects another frame, and now you have a two-seater thing or something. And potentially, like, yeah, if you have, like, a left fender and a right fender, and, oh, I was in a fight and the left fender got blown off or whatever, you could just find a replacement left fender from a different ship. It might not look pretty, but you can just bolt it on. And, but the way also it would work is that, like, you have Toyota making, this Excelsior frame, you know, starfighter or starship, and then Ford would also make an Excelsior frame thing, and they would just have their different components. They're different fenders, they're different shape fenders, and different, like, potentially extensions, mounting points, thrusters, and all that. And potentially you could probably, like, if you wanted to, you could hot rod the shit out of it and just min-max the hell out of it for any number of things. Now, I don't know how also, like, spaceships, the way that spaceships, I don't want, like, spaceships, like, starfighters are motorcycles. They're cheap. And, you see a lot more of them, actually. Or they're more accessible, so you see more of them. And then, like, your Millennium Falcon size ships, although the Millennium Falcon's probably a larger, it's probably the larger end of it, but that's like your cars, where it's more built for comfort and such. And there are, I mean, absolutely, there are starfighter-sized things that are built with some more creature comforts in mind, but that's, like, the higher end, right? And, like, you know, they'll have, you know, like, they'll have cargo space, they'll have, obviously, internal space, but, you know, that's a thing. It's just what every starship needs to have in order to be a starship, really. But the starfighter-sized things do it on just a smaller scale. I don't know. I feel like the modularity for some of the like the medium-sized things can really fall apart. I'm just imagining like, because what I would really want to do, like capital ships would have like these hull pieces, these hull panels, and then you would be able to put the and then you would be able to just draw rooms and corridors inside of the thing, and as long as it fits inside of the exterior hull, you're good. And as long as it connects with like, oh, there's always like this hull, you put a hangar section, like you put the hull together like bulkwork by bulkwork. This section has, you know, a hangar thing. So there's got to be a hangar on the inside, and it's got to line up with everything. And that kind of a thing. In the medium ships, I'm just like, I feel like that would be kind of hard to do. It might have to be some very, like, pre-made modules, right? Of, like, what rooms go where. Because, like, externally, I guess externally it would be fine. It could be fine anyway. But just internally, I feel like it could be a little bit of a problem. Weapons, I don't think would be a huge thing, as long as you, like, build it out to be decent. There's one dude who's, like, making a game that has, like, procedurally customized weapons, and, I love watching the thing, because it is, like, yeah, you do have to, there is, like, some considerations in what, like, blacklists and whitelists for how things connect, right? And, like, you do have to keep some of that in mind. And sometimes, like, it would be fun to just go silly and crazy. But, like, if you have a magazine-fed revolver, I mean, like, that's not completely unrealistic. There is an example of that, but, you know, if you can do it the right way, you can do it the wrong way, where it just doesn't look like it would work at all, and this is just two things smashed together for the sake of smashing it together. Like, I know people hate on the Rattler for, you know, because, like, the magazine is so forward, and, like, how would that even work? I was like, I mean, there are things, like, look at the Boberg 9, the Bullpup 9 little pistol. Just take, like, that concept of pulling cartridges out the back of the magazine and just take it to the absolute extreme, and I assume that's how this thing works. And I've completely jumped ships. Well, I also, okay, so industrial things, and I know I'm like rambling. I'm really rambling. Oh my god. Probably fast travel to this at some point, but what was I gonna say? So there is the element that any company can kind of just make their own version of this thing, and there are definitely companies that you'll see like, oh, this is like a Saturday Night Special that's just like, maybe there's a name on it, maybe there isn't a name on it, and maybe it's like such a generic name or something. You know what? A procedural like system that can be like, oh, this is a company that exists, but like, you know, it's just procedurally generated or something, could also be fun. Like, as far as a video game goes, you can go and visit the factory of Doobledob, you know, arms manufacturer, and then they have the Doobledob AR-15 and Doobledob Glock, or the Doobledob X-73, Doobledob R-29. I don't know. I was also gonna, I don't know. I've seen some like food channels that are talking about the state of the food thing, of the food, that like there's a lot of people who are like complain about things happening in the food industry, and it's like, this isn't actually the issue you make it out to be, or like it's extremely misleading, or there is some context, and every once in a while you're like, yeah, there is actually a problem going on here. But here's more context, like farrowing pens. Like you see a thing with animals in like tight pens where they can't move. And it's like, oh, look at how horribly they're being treated. And maybe there are some places where they just grow inside of a pen and that's all that happens. But like in this one particular picture, there are pigs in these pens, but there's no food. They're not being raised there. And I don't know what farrowing pens are versus harrowing pens, narrowing pens, something else. But they are there in that pen to be like checked up on, or like have things done to them, or like health checkups, that kind of a thing, and other things. But it's not necessarily just, oh, look at the horrible state of this thing. That being said, God damn it, I really love cyberpunk food stuff. The idea of just like super efficient. I mean, super efficient, but also like, I know in cyberpunk it's usually like, oh, you have your protein source that comes in a cube and it was just a ground up bug. And that's literally like the only thing that can happen. I like the angle where like, yeah, we can have like, pasture raised protein, animal based pasture raised protein. But like making protein cubes out of ground up worms or something is just more efficient. And so that's like what 90% of the food is. I don't know. There's something just like so mechanical about it. They're just so bluntly efficiency focused and narrowly minded, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't really actually impact anything at all, though. What I really wanted to say is, like, I have, and I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I got this idea for, like, these food, these vending machines that come in, like, really, like, vending machines that dish out these, containers that are, like, very modular. It's just like there's a little clip that you have like a food module and like a drink / sauce module. You can connect, possibly you can have a thing where you're like, oh, I want to have the ramen. I want to have the ramen pack with a cherry soda and soy sauce pack or something, or milk and cereal, and then it'll just put the drink and the sauce and the pack and the meal pack together, or you can buy them pre-packaged or something, and then on that vending machine you can take the drink or the sauce out, depending, you can either heat it up, or the food or the meal module. You can take it out and slot it in, and you can heat it up or cool it down, whatever needs to happen, or the proper thing. And like obviously that wouldn't be the only thing. I'm thinking like rectangles for the thing, but there could also be like other packages. I saw a thing about like Soviet triangular pyramid milk cartons that didn't really work very well because they were like, it was like, oh, you only have to, like, there are less connections you have to wrap this thing with, but they leaked, and they were awkward to they were awkward to package and transport, and they were awkward to open as well, but the idea of it is still kind of just funny to me. And also, like, it's not so much about, like, I mean, those are problems you can overcome, and to some degree, I like the, also with, like, industry, I do like the idea of there being competition and like, yeah, there are different companies that are doing different things, and to some degree, they are doing them as a gimmick. Like, oh, there's a company that puts all of their, you know, liquids in these weird pyramid containers because that's their thing. And then you also have, like, oh my god. And then you also have, you know, like, you also have standardized containers, but, you know, it's a whole combination of things. And there's so many other things as well.
What can I do for you?
Yeah. I don't know. I need to flesh out my universe. That's what I need to do. And talking through it does help me a bit, because it just makes it a little bit more real instead of just talking to myself about it. So, I don't know. I think we'll try and record one more episode, but things... Oh my god, this has been a long recording session. Till next time, have a good day, great day even. Chowskis.